campus after being behind bars. A look at the program helping the incarcerated start fresh. Plus, concerns raised by parents over the HPV vaccine. Some believe it would lead to increased sexual activity among teens, but a new study revealing that might not be the case. That's all ahead on the Now Bakersfield. Chris?
Let's get over to today's lineup here on the Now, and we're facing a big shortage of truck drivers across the country. So could 18-year-olds be the solution? Well, they are getting to drive in a new pilot program, but some people worrying that they can make the roads more dangerous. Also, we're always trying to keep you one step ahead of scammers, so we're going to break down the new tricks they're using to try and get your credit card information, how you can protect yourself. Then you may have heard about this service that'll send someone to actually go fill up your gas tank for you. Just the latest price we're paying for convenience, but are these services all really worth it? We're going to be getting into that ahead here on the Now.
Well, school is back in session for most students, but for some students, this will be their first semester following incarceration. The Now's Tori Cooper took an inside look at one Bakersfield college program that's making student life easier on adults with a criminal history who are returning to school.
Jessica, returning to school as an adult can be a challenging step in itself, but Bakersfield College students tell me that stepping back into a student mold as a formerly incarcerated adult is a completely different challenge. But one of the on-campus groups is making the transition back into student life a lot easier for them. Check it out.
It wasn't always this way for James Tompkins.
Right now, currently I'm serving as the BCSGA class president.
Tompkins stepped up as student body president this summer, and this will be his first semester in his new role. But this will also be his second year as a formerly incarcerated student on campus.
Well, most of mine were drug related. Petty thefts, sales, that nature. Ultimately just revolving around addiction.
Tompkins has been sober for over 5 years and is currently working towards his degree in psychology. But he says returning to class wasn't easy.
When you walk on campus, like the very first thing that popped in my head is everybody knows. Everybody knows and I don't belong here. Like this isn't a space for me.
But his journey quickly gained momentum when he found that students and faculty didn't care about his past.
And they're not worried about anything else. All they want to do is teach you. That's all they want to do. If you're willing to learn, they're going to teach you. That's all they want to do. They want to push for that.
Tompkins says with the support of faculty and his peers, he was motivated to do more for others dealing with the same uncertainty. So he created a place for formerly incarcerated students to convene.
And now that's what really Free on the Outside is all about, is kind of creating that space between us students, between us. So we can come to campus and know that's going to be one of our folks, one of our people to kind of guide us around campus, show us what's going on and know the ins and outs. And already gone through that scary portion of it to where no one else has to deal with that.
And the Free on the Outside team is already making strides.
Working on campus, bringing more people on board that are on campus, continuing the outreach.
Many have plans to get more people involved, including professors who can talk to men and women in detention facilities about the resources available. The group also conducts outreach to sober living homes and communicates with Kern County Probation to get more people like Tompkins and Alexander Ariola involved in a positive future surrounded with education.
It's overwhelming to say what this group has meant for me, because it's provided me a platform to be able to transition onto school culture and just getting acclimated.
And Tompkins just hopes his group will motivate other formerly incarcerated people in Kern County to go back to school too.
You just have to be willing and kind of step out in bravery and kind of just go and go for it.
Now, if you're contemplating heading back to school and are interested in the Free on the Outside program, head to our website, turnto23.com, and click on the Now tab. You can also find it under the in-depth section on Roku. For the Now Bakersfield, I'm Tori Cooper, 23 ABC.
The CSUB volleyball team spiked the competition last year, winning the WAC tournament. This year, the coaches picked CSUB to have the third best record behind New Mexico State and Rio Grande Valley. Last year, the runners finished 19-14 and won the WAC tournament for a second time. This season begins Friday, August 24th with the blue and gold scrimmage. And this year, the runners will get to show off their skills on a newly renovated blue court. CSUB announcing yesterday renovations to the court have been completed and are ready to be shown off. Since the renovations were made possible by Kern Schools Federal Credit Union, the court will now be called the Kern Schools Court. An unveiling ceremony for the new blue court design is set for tomorrow at 2 p.m. in the Icardo Center. High school football returns this week with a new season of Friday Night Live and our new sports director, Kero. And what a way to begin the action, officially getting underway tomorrow as Bakersfield High travels to Anaheim to play against Servite High School. Then 17 football games are scheduled to take place Friday. Some of the big games include Bakersfield Christian against Garces, Liberty at Mission Viejo, and Stockdale at Ridgeview. Of course, you're going to be able to catch all the action on 23 ABC with the return of Friday Night Live. Chris?
Well, we've all been there. Our tank's on empty, but we're in a rush to get somewhere. We don't have time to get to the gas station. There's a new startup called Yoshi expanding to help that will actually send someone to fill up your tank for you with gas. Now, these days, we'll pretty much pay anything for convenience, but are these services helping us or ultimately hindering us? Then now's Andy Taylor looking into it for us.
You know the saying, oh, there's an app for that? Well, it's true. Whether you want to call it convenience or pure laziness, they're popping up everywhere, and I'm sorry, but we're loving it.
Folks will choose the path of least resistance. When faced with two choices, you're going to usually almost always do what's easiest.
The latest is Yoshi, a membership service expanding to more cities where you pay $20 a month, and wherever, whenever you need gas, someone will come and fill up your tank. The only finger lifting we have to do is a few taps on a screen to get what we want. Need a ride? That's what Uber and Lyft is for. Don't want to leave the house for dinner? Postmates, DoorDash, or E24 will deliver food straight to your door. Don't have time to wait in line at the DMV? Yoga, a service in California, will get someone to wait for you. Not feeling like hanging up curtains? TaskRabbit will find someone to do it for you. Marketing professor Darren Duber-Smith says there's always going to be a price for convenience.
Whenever you increase the level of service as a marketer, there's going to be an associated cost with that service. Luckily, consumers are usually willing to pay more for that service and for that convenient component.
What's ironic, Darren says, because of these apps, we have more free time than ever before, but we often don't see it that way.
We do have more time than ever before. It's just how we're using it. If you add up the amount of time people watch television and use social media and the internet, you're talking about several hours a day.
So our time crunch is really perception, and Darren says that means get ready to download more convenience apps and clog up your screen. For the now, I'm Annie Taylor.
Annie, thanks. Let's get back to our lineup here. And could 18-year-olds be the solution to a big truck driver shortage that we're facing? Well, some worry they could make the roads more dangerous, so we're going to get into the debate when the Now continues. The way you travel is going to change this fall. Royal Caribbean and Southwest changing rules about what animals you can bring on board with you. Now, Royal Caribbean says they won't accept any emotional support animals starting now. If you did make a reservation with them before July 30th, though, you can still bring your animal, but don't expect any special accommodations for them. If you are flying Southwest, you can still bring an emotional support animal, but it's not going to be an exotic animal like, say, a peacock. They can't come. Southwest limiting passengers to just one dog or cat. Now, on some occasions, the airline will allow a miniature horse. Not really sure how that would look on a plane, but the change is coming mid-September. Now, while Royal Caribbean hasn't said exactly why they're banning all these animals, Southwest change is not really surprising because the airline says some animals have pecked at, even bitten passengers. Back in January, you may remember a woman wasn't allowed to bring her peacock on a United flight. She said it was her emotional support animal, but United, they weren't really having it, saying the bird just didn't meet the guidelines. Well, we are learning today that peacock recently died. His owner posting about it on Instagram saying that he passed away in his favorite human's arms on July 22nd. All right, let's get to the Now News feed. And a New Mexico judge is facing death threats after she granted bail to adults charged in connection to 11 starving children found in a compound. Authorities say they were training kids for mass shootings, a toddler's body even found at that scene. Well, power restored to all of Puerto Rico for the first time since Hurricane Maria, the longest continuous blackout in U.S. history. It is now over. And the U.S. government buying as much as 13 million gallons of milk from dairy farmers because the farmers have too much. Milk going to food banks. Now, this is not related to the emergency help that farmers are getting in connection to President Trump's tariffs. Student loan debt, it is pushing some marriages to the brink. This is according to a study from Student Loan Hero. 1/3 of borrowers say student loans played a role in their divorce. For newer couples, debt may translate into putting off buying a house or having children. Experts suggest that couples consider a prenuptial agreement. That guarantees each person will be reimbursed for the money they put toward their spouse's loan.
The controversial HPV vaccine isn't causing young people to be more promiscuous. That's according to a study just published in the journal Pediatrics. For years, teenagers living in 23 states and D.C., where the vaccine is legally promoted, were asked about risky sexual behaviors. Researchers couldn't find any increase. HPV is the most common STD in the U.S., and it can cause cervical cancer. The vaccine is now approved for boys and girls. Verizon is offering free internet TV with its upcoming 5G broadband internet service. The company is teaming up with Google and Apple to provide streaming services as an option for Verizon's broadband customers. That means if you buy Verizon's 5G, you can receive a free subscription to YouTube TV or pick up a free Apple TV 4K set-top box. Right now, Verizon is only offering the deal in 4 cities: Sacramento, Los Angeles, Houston, and Indianapolis. No word on when the company plans to eventually take the deal nationwide. We here at 23 ABC are working to get more stories into the hands of kids through the If You Give a Child a Book campaign. 23 ABC is teaming up with the Kern Literacy Council to make it all possible. And for the first time, the community is also being invited to get involved. With each dollar raised, we're helping get books into the hands of kids living in poverty right here in our city. The campaign will also help provide tutors to 8 schools in our community. For more information on how you can get involved, just head over to our website, turnto23.com. All right, taking a live look outside. Many students headed back to school today, and really an amazing forecast and a great sunset tonight to kick off the first day.
It was so great. We were in for a treat. Temperatures 98 degrees as a high today. So that's right above seasonal, not quite as warm as what we were seeing the past few days. So we're right on track with what we were feeling this time yesterday in Bakersfield, but down a few degrees into Hatchpee as well as up in Delano. And we were a little bit cooler today due to an breezy conditions that made their way into the county. 8 degrees or 8-mile-per-hour winds here in Bakersfield right now, 13 up in Lake Isabella, and you can expect very similar conditions tomorrow from what we were seeing today. If you're dropping the kiddos off at the bus stop in the morning, it's going to be sunny with 74 degrees and then warming right up to the upper 90s, 99 degrees at around 5, but it looks like we could be hitting 100 degrees as a high tomorrow. But as temperatures are slowly increasing as we head into the rest of the week, week. That means our air quality is going to be worsening as well. We will be unhealthy for sensitive groups tomorrow with an AQI of 108. So temperatures 100 degrees tomorrow, then jumping up to 103 by Sunday, possibly hitting even 104 on Monday. That means it is going to be hot in the desert, and then temperatures slowly reaching 99 degrees by next Friday. So it looks like we could be beginning another heat wave as early as tomorrow. Then now Bakersfield will be right back.
Well, if you notice delayed delivery or higher prices for things you order, a shortage of truck drivers may be to blame. A new program is hoping to bring some relief, and as the Now's Kamasi Aaron found, some worry it'll make roads less safe.
It's very nice.
This is what you might think of when you think of a truck driver. A middle-aged man. But that might change. Soon, you could be seeing more teenagers behind the wheel.
So, Elijah, what we got here is our driving range.
Elijah Amos is getting ready to get his commercial driver's license.
I think what really did it for me is driving, because I really like driving, and I feel like you get paid a decent amount of money just to drive.
But since he's 18, he won't be able to drive from state to state. He'll have to wait until he's 21. But a new government pilot program will soon allow some drivers as young as 18 to drive cross-country.
I feel like it would open up more job opportunities, and maybe it'd open up the eyes to some of the younger people to maybe actually try and do it.
The program would be available to some members of the National Guard and others with military experience. But in March, House Republicans introduced a bill to lower the commercial driving age to 18 for anyone driving state to state. Their goal? To fight a nationwide truck driving shortage.
How bad is the shortage right now?
It's pretty bad.
Quincy Jones is a director at Sage Truck Driving Schools and says it's been challenging to attract driving students. He says ultimately we pay the price.
Of shipping costs get passed down to the consumer. So if there's a shortage, those loads aren't getting picked up as frequently. And so who pays that? We do. We all pay it. Consumers do.
The American Truck Driving Association says the shortage is expected to hit 63,000 this year. But with motor vehicle drivers aged 16 to 19 being nearly 3 times more likely than people over 20 to fatally crash, not everyone believes teen drivers are the solution to the problem.
Younger people have less experience driving for all types of vehicles, and so the crash rates are higher for younger people, and so we think it would be a dangerous idea.
Sponsors say the bill would require teens complete at least 240 hours of driving supervised by a veteran driver, something Elijah would be more than willing to do to get behind the wheel.
It gives me more opportunities.
For the Now, I'm Kumasi Aaron.
All right, Kamasi, thank you. Let's get to the Now news feed. A good tip for tomorrow morning, as researchers say, eating breakfast before a workout could help you burn more carbs. It'll also help you digest food faster after. They tested 12 men for this study. Well, if you're a fan of Aerosmith, get ready for this because they're headed to Vegas, the iconic band taking up a residency next year at the Park Theater. Shows happen between April and July. Tickets go on sale next Friday for that. And the newest celeb to get into the fashion game, that is Ellen DeGeneres. Walmart going to feature a new fashion line of about 60 items by the talk show host. Well, Instagram, they're acknowledging a possible hack. In a blog post, it said that users are suddenly losing access to their accounts. Now, it didn't say exactly how many. Some had the email address linked to their account changed without requesting it. The blog tells people how to get their accounts restored. Well, we do have another warning for Instagram users because you know those Instagram people who constantly promote clothes, watches, makeup, influencers? Well, be leery if you get an offer of free stuff to do the same. The Better Business Bureau says that phony companies are reaching out to Instagrammers, offering them perks in exchange for posting pictures of their products. They often use the term brand ambassador. Well, they promise to send you free stuff and you'll even get a commission and more account exposure. Instagram users, though, they reported being charged for the products. The stuff was also either broken when it arrived or just really poor quality, and they never got that commission. Now, be very cautious of any opportunity that asks you to hand over money, not just when it comes to Instagram, but scammers, they also use tricks to make themselves sound more legit. They'll say things like they run credit checks, set up direct deposits, or even pay for training. All right, let's get back to our lineup here, and we're always trying to keep you one step ahead of scammers. So we're going to tell you about the new tricks they're using to try and get your credit card information, the important tips to protect yourself next. Scammers are just always after our money, but the way they're doing it, it's just constantly changing. So now's Annie Taylor here with the latest thing that they're up to.
Yeah, Chris, thieves are getting smarter, and they're not just trying to con you with the robocalls and the skimmers. But creditcards.com says they'll also set up other traps like Wi-Fi networks without a password. They're hoping you'll use the free Wi-Fi and then put in your credit card information just so they can swipe your info. Others still are going the old school route, though, with a phone call. Instead of calling you at home, though, they'll actually call you at a hotel room while you're on vacation and pretend to be the front desk. They'll say the hotel had an issue processing your credit card, and then they ask you for it. If they already have your credit card number, they'll actually go a step further and call your credit card company and pretend to have the lost card and request another one. But also, there are a few ways to defend yourself. You might be reluctant to download your bank's smartphone app, but it's actually safer that you do that. You can keep track of purchases in real time. And it's always best to prepare for the worst, though, so experts suggest that you set up an emergency savings account, one that's not linked to a credit or debit card. That way, you still have access to money if your credit or debit card is stolen.
All right, Annie, thank you. And, you know, there's a reason that diaper parties are becoming more popular. The prices of diapers, they just keep going up. Now, the owners of Huggies just raised prices. Kimberly Clark saying that paper pulp is getting so expensive, it's starting to eat into the company profits. Now, it's not just diapers going up, though. The cost of toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, all of that stuff is going up. Now, if you're having a heart attack and you need help, you likely aren't going to think twice about whether your doctor is a man or a woman, but there is new research showing maybe you should, especially for women. Tomorrow on The Now, we're going to be talking with a doctor about why this could make a difference.
Coming up tonight on 23 ABC News at 11, the trial for one of President Trump's former staff members is heading toward its conclusion. Jury deliberations expected to begin tomorrow in the case of Paul Manafort, accused of financial crimes, including bank fraud and failing to pay taxes on millions of dollars sheltered overseas. Again, that's tonight on 23 ABC News at 11. All right, and people finally home from their first day of school. Yeah. Not a bad day, and thankfully the rest of the week not looking too terrible, right, Allison?
It really wasn't that bad. 98 degrees as our high today, so we did end up breaking that heat wave that was 7 days long, and you could expect temperatures very similar to what you were feeling today for your first day, if that is on Thursday. And then football is back, which is so exciting. So Friday night, it looks like it's going to be just gorgeous temperatures once that sun sets. We'll have a high of 101 degrees, and then temperatures slowly increasing as we head into Saturday. It looks like we could be hitting 103 or 104 degrees on Sunday or Monday. So the heat wave is back, but
then it's going back down, right?
99 next Friday.
There you go. It's only here for a second, and then it leaves again. That's going to do it for us on The Now Bakersfield. We'll see you back here tonight at 11.